At the start of the anecdote, a face on the news looking through his notes. A rose in a retrograde motion. In the end, we will suffer like we should.
Alright everyone, welcome back. It's ATK Knightmare. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you returning, welcome back. For those of you just getting here, welcome. I'm happy to have you take a look at my videos. As you can see, I'm kind of in an undermatched car here. I'm not in the strongest car, but I don't care. I enjoy driving this car, and I'll tell you why. It may not be the fastest thing on the straightaways, but through that center section, it is really good. This is Interlagos Race C, medium and soft tires, and I am starting off on the medium tires because I'm always one to want the softer compound with the lighter fuel load. I just think it's faster that way, so I always start off on the mediums. It got to the point later on in the week, this is midweek, early week. It got to the point midweek where I had to starting on the softs because I was just kind of getting run over. People were getting really aggressive because it was getting towards the end of the week, and they just, for some reason, it makes people go stupid. I'm not sure why. It doesn't really matter why. All I know is I had to change up my strategy a bit. It didn't hurt me any, so I was okay with that. But yeah, I really like this 4C. The Group 4 car is really tough to handle sometimes, but if you can figure out how to make it float into the corners rather than try and manhandle it into them, you'd be a lot better off. And it is a quick car. It lacks on straightaway speed just like the Group 3 car does, but again, it handles so well that if you can figure it out, it's a really good car. This may or may not be my manufacturer for my secondary account. Well, secondary accounts next season. If there is a next season, I don't know exactly what Gran Turismo is going to do at this point. But anyway, yeah, I wind up taking off here. I'm in second place, starting off on the medium tires, so I know I'm going to lose some ground, but that's not a big deal to me. I know some of it I'll make up for in the last part of the race, because not only does this car handle really well, but even with the BOP, the weight on it is such that it really doesn't go through tires very badly. My tire wear is always better in this car than most of the other cars around me. There were several times. 1 second here. This is a pet peeve of mine, guys. I don't understand why somebody who's carrying a penalty will absolutely muscle their way through trying to gain that one extra spot, even though they're going to lose it again right after that because they've got to serve their penalty. I don't understand that. It drives me bananas. It's just a dumb thing to do. There's no point to it. You're going to lose a spot anyway. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Wait, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, never. Yeah, never mind. I totally forgot. I got sidetracked here. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to lose positions starting off. It's not that big a deal. I know I'll make up a lot of the ground because it's really good on, the 4C is really good on tires. This guy, I don't know what the heck he was doing. He just kind of dipped the tire and come across me, but oh joy, now I got to deal with Scotty again. Yeah, well, such is life on Gran Turismo. It happens. But yeah, anyway, I'll fall back a little bit. It'll be fine. I just, yeah, I enjoy driving this car. I surprised a lot of people with this car. A couple weeks ago on the B race, it was a Tokyo race. The McLaren was a favorite car because it was so fast down the straightaway. But I took in the 4C. Why? Because even if I could stay in the slipstream on the straightaway, I stayed close enough to those McLarens to where through the section where all the turns were, I could go through the turns so much better. The McLaren had to slow down where I really didn't. So I wound up doing pretty well in that race, and I surprised a lot of people. So yeah, the 4C winds up being a fun car. It's a riot to drive once you figure it out. I keep telling my friend, my teammates, it's like a rocket ship on roller skates, and it really is. It goes, man. If you do it right, it goes. It's not going to be the strongest car. It's not going to win a ton of races, but I think it can be consistent enough to score some good points if you got your ratings up. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was saying this may or may not be my manufacturer for my my alternate accounts. I've got one in one here in the States, my Quickstand Jesus account, which some of you may or may not know, and then I've got ATK Knightmare UK. I will be showing some content from that account on this channel because I'm gonna show how climbing up in the ranks over there goes for me. Right now that account is rated at a CS, so I will bring some content from that account over here as well. But anyway, right at this point, nothing really happens for quite a while. Dual pulley got around me. We'll see him again later on. But yeah, nothing really happens. Nothing goes on. I don't gain anything. I don't lose anything. So we're going to move ahead here for a bit. And right, we'll be back in just a second. Not like you were gone very long, but hey, okay. Anyway, I've moved ahead. We moved ahead quite a bit in the race here. I'm still running 4th place. I've gone into the pits, gotten my soft tires, all that good stuff. And I remembered while I was skipping ahead here, what I was talking about as far as the tire wear on the 4C. There were several times last week, during the week of races, that I would be starting off on the mediums, and the guy or guys in front of me, depending on where I started, they'd be starting off on the soft tires, and for 4 laps or so, they would just bolt. They'd be gone. And I'd just sit there, run my laps, run my race. I'm okay. But after that 4th lap, going 5, 6, 7 laps, my tires on the mediums were a lot better than what their softs were. Their softs were wearing out pretty quickly, so I started reeling them in. So yeah, it usually worked to my advantage to start on the mediums and go to the softs, even at the beginning of the races. So yeah, well anyway, so back to the race here. Speaking of reeling them in, here you see I'm coming back up on Scotty again, and after his little muscle maneuver the first time, I'm not sure, you know, it's one of those things where you wind up learning when you race in certain groups, certain ratings. You learn who's good to race against, who's not, and you start being more cautious around them. But then there's times where, you know, there's some guys you just don't know exactly what you're going to get from them. Sometimes they'll race you really clean, sometimes they don't. You know, they'll be like super aggressive or just flat dirty. You don't know what you're going to get from them. So I'm trying to determine what I should do with Scotty here. And so I do my best to get around him absolutely clean. I'm not going to push him out of the way. I'm not going to make contact if I can avoid it. I just get a really, really good run coming off this corner. And that was one thing about this car that I really like too is, see, that's the kind of crap I'm talking about. Absolutely no reason for that. He was just flat out getting beat and didn't like it, and he decided to slam me into the wall for it. It's stupid. There's way too much of that. And then he just decides he's going to outbrake me and really fails. So that stuff is just stupid. There's way too much of it on Gran Turismo. Well, there's way too much of it on racing games in general. People just don't care enough about their about everybody else around them that they just wind up doing idiotic stuff like that. But anyway, he's in the background. He won't be catching back up to me, and I'm not worried about him anymore. Now my goal is to catch up to Dual Pulley, because he is in 2nd place and he's on the same tires as I am, but as I'm showing you right here, his tire wear is worse off than mine. So I've got a lap and a half to reel him in here. I'm just gonna drive the laps that I drive, figuring maybe he'll make a mistake, or because obviously during the race I can't tell what his tire wear looks like. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just gonna drive and see if I can catch him. I'll make this 4C work for all it's worth and just go from there. But as you can see, I am kind of reeling him in. I know I'm gonna lose ground here. I always do. That's fine. Like I said, I really enjoy this car. The team founder from Attack Motorsports, my buddy Andy, he has always told me, ever since I started playing this, I've basically been on this team, to just drive what you're comfortable in. And for me, this 4C is what I'm comfortable in. So I wind up usually with pretty good results, unless, you know, the normal bad stuff happens where you get banged around, beat around, and stuff like that. When that happens, yeah, that's a bad day, because the 4C really doesn't react well to getting hit like that. It's too light. It just bounces all over the place. And some guys see that, and some guys will do their best to take advantage of it. So you got to kind of learn to adjust for that too. No big deal. I can deal with that. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, I have really pulled up on dual pulley here, and at this point I'm pretty sure I can get him. I'm almost positive I can get him, and I'm gonna do everything I can to get him. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting coming off this last corner. I know I really get a good run off this last corner every time. Right there, I get right up on him, and I know I've got a good run. I know I do. I've got the slipstream. I don't know if I can outpower him down the straightaway. I'm not sure, but I'm sure the slipstream is going to help some. Right here, he goes down to the inside, and I get around him, bam, into the wall. Because I don't see that. If you're beat, you're beat. It's that simple. Just let it go. That was absolutely dirty. It was just absolutely ridiculous. I'm so tired of that kind of crap happening. I mean, I'm happy, really happy to get the podium, but yeah, that stuff wasn't necessary. I don't know. He gave an excuse after the race that his brakes were flickering and that's why I got around him and blah blah blah, but that is no excuse to hit me the way he did. Anyway, yeah, good result. So that's part one of this video, and I will be back with another race from the same place here in just a minute. Alright, so we're on to the next race here. This again is the C race from Interlagos, as you can probably see. This time though, I got a couple of my teammates in the race with me. I got Bagger J starting on the pole, and back in the back here towards the middle is Andy, Brother Major. He's the one who founded the Attack Motorsports International Sim Racing Team. I will use the full term of it. And yeah, so I've got a couple of teammates in here. So I'm thinking, you know, this might be actually a pretty good result. So let's see what happens. So once again, I'm in the 4C. Once again, I'm starting off on medium tires. Bagger and Andy are in the chat with me, so I know what they're running. Bagger's running the soft tires. And right here, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I get one really good launch. So even with Bagger on the soft tires, I'm going to take advantage of the launch. I'm going to go down to the inside. I let him know I was coming. He just kind of moved over, which is what a good teammate does. And so yeah, I'm just going to take advantage of this start and just run my butt off here for the first lap, see if I can put a little bit of a gap on him, and hope for the best. I know I'm on harder tires. I know I'm going to lose a little bit of ground, so I don't know, maybe I can gain a little bit of ground here through the centers, well, through the center part of the track. Easy for me to say. But right here, I don't really come through there the way I should. I do get a pretty good turn here. This one here, I get through it okay, but then on the way out, yeah, I just do what I normally do, and then that causes me to lose my line on the next turn. So at this point, Bagger's a whole lot closer than I'd like him to be, and so I know that he's on the softer compound, so he's probably going to get a better run out of this corner. So at this point, I'm telling him, hey, if you got the run, just go ahead and let me know, you know, tell me, and I'll just let you go. And that's exactly what happens. He let me know he'd had a heck of a run coming out of the corner. He's got the slipstream, as you can see here. So he's coming up on me pretty good, so I'm just like, alright, I'll move over, let him go. I'll lose a couple of spots, but I'm not going to be too broken-hearted about it. I was hoping to only lose one spot, but this guy in second place, I can't really pronounce his name, but DS Moises, I believe it is. Yeah, he winds up getting around me too, so I wasn't entirely pleased with that, but again, it's one of those things where I know I was going to lose some ground. That's inevitable. But I figure as long as I can stay close to him, I can make up for it later on after the pit stops. And so far, you know, I know it's only been half a lap since he went around me, but they're not driving away from me, so I'm okay. It is what it is. Again, this car is not the fastest car on the track. It's really good through this section, and that's what I like about it. But when I'm on the harder compound, it's difficult to keep up. Yeah, so anyway, at this point in the race, not much really happens. I just basically hold position for a while. So we're just going to move ahead here a little bit, and we will see how it goes from there. Be back in just a second. Alright, we're back again, and as you can see, I've just completed my pit stop. I put on the soft tires, and let's see where I'm coming out here. 5th place. Alright, so I'm currently running 5th, and off we go. So I put on the, I put the soft tires on, so I know I'm going to be quick. It's always a really good feeling to be able to know that I can really push now. A little bit less fuel. Sometimes the 4C is really, really good on fuel, and sometimes that is a disadvantage. There are times when it really doesn't lighten the car up enough to make a huge difference. Like some of the other cars will go through fuel a lot more than this car will, and so they wind up in quite a bit better position as far as handling and quickness on the soft tires. But in this particular case, the 4C, the lack of fuel usage didn't really hurt it any. So yeah, it's one of those things where if it's a tighter race, you know, not a real power track like Fuji or Spa to a certain extent, Tokyo, the long straightaways on the Tokyo tracks, if it's not one of those cases and there's fuel usage involved and it's going to be a fuel mileage race, then I'm definitely going with a 4C, because it's going to hold up pretty well on a track that's not a power track. And when you got to save fuel, yeah, this car is really, really good for that. Alright, so we got Bagger coming out of the pits here ahead of me. He comes out in second, but I know at this point that he is now running on his mediums. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's a sitting duck. I'm going to get him eventually. And, you know, it's just one of those things where he kind of knew it too. But, you know, he's not going to make it easy for me. Then that's perfectly fine, because I know as a teammate it won't be a dirty situation. He knows if I'm faster he'll let me go. Well, I know that anyway. And so yeah, that guy Diaz Moises, I just kind of harassed him into making that mistake and letting me get through. I stayed right on his bumper through that section, and it caused him to just kind of miss his braking point on that last turn there, and so I just ducked to the inside. So now I'm chasing down Baggy and Black Storm up front. So this, I'm thoroughly enjoying this, because I know Bagger's a little bit faster than me, and I really enjoy it when I can be pretty confident that I'm gonna be able to beat him. It doesn't happen often, so I love to take advantage of it when I can. So yeah, at this point we're just all of us are just having some fun. Let's go see what Andy's doing here. Andy's running 9th. He's doing pretty good. I mean, this is a guy who is, 1, running on a controller, and 2, he's having a few issues with his eyesight. So for him to be running this, he's doing pretty well. So yeah, we're in good shape here. All 3 of us are in the top 10. That's a good thing. We like that. We really enjoy that as a team. Oh, I went 1 car too far. Went up to Baggy's car. We're not interested in watching Baggy. So as you see over here, Blackstorm, he winds up making a mistake and going off track. And he's a guy that likes to do the back to front challenge, which is cool, but sometimes to get to the front, he's a little bit too aggressive. And he likes to just kind of push his way through, and rather than legitimately pass people to do that challenge, he'll push and shove and elbow people out of the way. And okay, if you're going to do that challenge, then really make it a challenge and do it clean. That's a challenge. You know, pushing and shoving your way through, that's really not much of a challenge. Not to me anyway. It's just my opinion. So take it for what it's worth. But yeah, that's the way I feel about it. If you're gonna do a back to front challenge, and make it a challenge and make your passes clean and see how far you can get doing it that way. I mean, the guy is legitimately fast. We've raced him quite a bit, and he is a really fast driver. But again, doing the back to front challenge, he's overly aggressive, drives me crazy. So anyway, I catch up to Bagger here. He knows I've got him, so he just moves over, lets me by. And at this point, I'm telling him, hey, do me a favor. See if you can hold up Black Storm a little bit. And no, I don't mean block. I don't mean anything like that. Just run defensive. Keep the lines tight. Make it hard for him to get around. If he can do that for me for a couple of laps, then maybe I can get around. You know, maybe I can get a win here. But I make a mistake there. That gives me, loses me some time, which I really couldn't afford, knowing that Black Storm was back there stalking. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's just a team working together, and that's the advantage of being on a team. And it's one of the advantages to our guys, man. If you're looking for a team to run with, message me on PSN, and because we all run clean, we don't run passive. We will give you the shoulder if you start doing it to us. You know, we're going to let you know we don't appreciate your dirty driving tactics. But in this kind of case, you got somebody to work with that'll help you out. Bagger held up Blackstorm as much as he could, but Blackstorm, you know, got around him, and it was clean. It was perfectly clean in that situation. So right now, I am just praying that I can hold him off, which, as you can see by how close he is going to be kind of difficult. So as usual, once again, I come off here and just miss this and exit altogether. So I'm expecting a half-second penalty to show up, and yep, there it is. So at this point, I know I'm not going to beat Blackstorm. He's just too close to me for me to put that kind of gap on him. He's too fast. So I'm like, alright, I'll just let him go. But then, I come down the straightaway here, and I've got a run on him, but I come down the straightaway here, and in my effort to stay in the slipstream, I kind of forget where I am, and I run below the white line and pick up another half second. Bang. So there, now I got to worry about Bagger. Fortunately, I was far enough ahead of him that I didn't lose it, so I've got a second and a third this week on this track, and like I said, I promised I'd bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, I brought you some ugly last week, so this time around, I brought you some of the good that I can do occasionally. And on that note, thank you everybody for watching. Please, if you like what you see, like what you hear, hit that subscribe button. If not, if you don't want to hit the subscribe button, hey, just leave a like, leave a dislike. Either one, those help us out. Well, help me out. I keep saying us because I run the team YouTube channel as well. So yeah, it helps out. Today's video was sponsored by the Booga Box Custom Chainmail Accessories. They're all handcrafted decorations, wall clocks, or wall hangings, clocks. Yeah, it's just really, really cool stuff. He does some laser etching. So yeah, if you would be so kind as to go check out the Booga Box, I will leave the link in the comments. And until next time, everybody, this is...
You never make a difference. God made his decision. At the start of the anecdote, a face on the news looking through his notes. A rose in a retrograde motion. In the end, we will suffer like we should. We will suffocate in